Welcome to our presentation on reimagining online student support. I'm Josh Striegel, Director of E-Learning and Learning Support Centers at the College of Central Florida. So I have distance learning and tutoring under my direction, and that's put me in a really interesting place to pursue this work of improving online student services.
Hello, I am Dr. Victoria Brown. I am currently a professor in the Curriculum Instruction Department. My field of expertise is instructional technology for the College of Education at Florida Atlantic University. My role here is to share with you some of the work I did as a former assistant provost for e-learning, in which I was on with a team of individuals who were working on improving the quality of distance education in Florida. And my responsibility was to develop a tool that would assist the system in evaluating the quality of instruction and support services for the institutions in Florida. The need for online student support services has been documented for quite some time. We know from Tino's work in 1993 that student support services is very important for the success of any student. And the factors that contribute to students not achieving their goals in face-to-face are the same for online. So we know from Tino that it's important for the students to feel connected and engaged with an institution, that they get a combination of support from student support and the faculty members in order for them to be successful. In 2001, WCET developed the Student Support Services Development Model, which is a spider web. And in that spider web, it shows the complexity of all the student support services that are available to an on-campus student, and reflects the need that those same services should be available for our online students. And we see in two studies, one in 2013 and another one in 2018, that the quality and the services available for the students are very, very important for them to be successful and to complete their degrees. So then we see that need further being amplified when we take a look in 2020 and in a survey of online distance learning leaders, we find that the need for student support services for their online students is considered to be very important for the success of those online students. So the concept and the idea that these students need additional support has been documented through various research studies in the past 20 years. We also look at, if you take a look at what happened during the COVID pandemic, we find that students felt very strongly that taking their classes online impacted their ability to feel successful, to learn, and to continue on their academic progress. We actually see some drop in student enrollment with the fear that all the classes were going to be online and that they would not be able to be with their faculty members. So I think that these impacts on student success also show that really we might have moved courses online, but did we think through all the support that students would actually need in order to be successful in those environments? And how could online student services been able to change and impact these numbers? There's also some legal issues starting to emerge in that students are suing institutions for the use of fees or being charged fees that they were not able to then access the services. So if you're an institution who is charging fees to the online students and to your on-campus students and not differentiating between the two, but on the other hand, you're also not providing those identical services for online students, then you are actually could be setting yourself up for having legal issues in the future. So there are several factors that we feel improve student outcomes. And as we just talked about, the availability of online student support is important to them, but also important to them is that service is available to them at times that are convenient for them. Many of these students work, and we actually think, well, there's no problem. They can get on their cell phones and give us a call, or they can get on their cell phone during the day and maybe go to our website. But that's not exactly the case. Many of these students do work in jobs that if they were to use their cell phone on the job, they might actually lose their employment. So we should be cognizant of that and making sure that we offer extended hours and that students can access them after the typical work hours, and that you're there for them when they need you. So that's, and also that we need to provide engagement with the institution, and that there's some argument about, well, do enough online students participate in these events? But I would say, number one, if you're not offering them, you're never going to know. And then number two, does every student on campus participate? And the answer is no. So why would we expect every student online to participate? So it doesn't really matter. The availability is more important at this particular point. And I think there's ways you can do that without it actually costing more. And the idea is that they can access all of these without traveling. They could live in another part of the state or in another state. And if they have to travel, for example, to the campus to submit some type of paperwork for admissions, that almost defeats the purpose for having a distance learning program.
So another opportunity for you to engage and think about, if it were left up to you, how would you conduct a self-study at your institution about all of your student services? The tool that we try and help institutions use is the OLC online scorecard, and it's available at this link below, or if you just Google OLC scorecard for online student support, it will probably be the first result you get, and it's free to download the card. They just ask for your email address to get it. So a little bit about how we developed this tool. We really wanted to look at the whole life cycle of a student from before the application all the way to graduation. We wanted to increase their access to these services, improve their academic experience, and research has well shown that increasing engagement increases success. So we were looking to balance this again across the life cycle, but that doesn't mean that each and every category within the scorecard is balanced in the number of indicators. 11 categories, 49 indicators. Since this is aimed at a self-study, we used a pretty simple scale. 0, you don't have the services at all. 1, you have them, but they could be improved. And 2 being exemplar. This is a look at the areas and the number of indicators in each area, and you will see they vary, but the committee that we pulled together honed in on these items for each area. So the scorecard is really meant to be a tool for you to use at your institution and to be introspective. It's not meant to be a tool for some outside entity to come in and evaluate you. It has really proven to be valuable in initiating those internal conversations, and hopefully through identifying those areas, coming up with the creative solutions, your action plan can be used as a evidence of due diligence when it comes time for things like accreditation. And of course, the leadership style at your institution, whether it's top down or bottom up, or your particular position in the institution, may determine how you're going to be able to implement this type of evaluation, because you really do need support of the entire institution to make this work. And another opportunity for you to interact and give us some feedback. Just take a minute and let us know some areas that you may have been able to improve student services because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
At my institution, we actually did a lot of work with the online student support scorecard. We did a great deal of socialization of that scorecard and the expectations. And we had actually gotten where we had quite a few services available online, and those are listed on the left. But we did still have some issues. For example, we didn't have full support for our health services and psychiatric services. You still needed to make an appointment and see someone on campus, although we had worked a little bit on trying to find ways to address students' needs, psychological needs, if they were off campus, and had found ways that we could refer students to services that were closer to them. We did have the ability to really access a lot of our online life activities, but not necessarily everything that was happening on campus. And you could see a vast acceleration of what was available for online students and how they were able to interact and participate in campus life activities through the COVID. And it was interesting that, obviously you have your fitness centers and you're not able to go to the fitness centers during the lockdown. So our medical school actually put together some online fitness suggestions and videos and things that you could do from home to keep yourself fit. And we were able to finally put together a virtual campus tour, which was actually just released in the last few months. So there was some improvement from what our online for the services that were available post-pandemic versus what was available pre-pandemic. And these services have been incredibly popular. So I do believe our institution is looking at how can we continue to maintain many of these tools that we were using during the pandemic, post-pandemic. So I do feel like the online student supports card really was a valuable tool for moving us from that concept that students only needed some academic online tutoring and the ability to submit their application online to, as you can see, a full range of services that are now available to our students that are online. We also, I would like to talk about a little bit about our student success, in that we found that our students were just as successive online as they were pre-pandemic. So going back to our very first conversation about the availability of these online student support services and how important they are to student success, we were able to maintain our enrollment, and we were also able to continue to have students be successful even though they were no longer on campus.
At my institution, we for instance, never had a virtual campus tour. We had a great website with lots of information, but when COVID-19 came along, we were able to get a tour put together, and our marketing department won a national gold medal from their professional organization based on that tour. And then just a number of other things. I'll highlight the live chat on our website. We never really had that before either, but during the pandemic we had individuals from all over the institution who were taking their time and taking time on that chat tool in order to provide information to our students. So some things that it looks like CF will keep based on the pandemic. One of the most impactful are going to be the new instructional formats. One of the most costly will be the instructional tools that we've adopted, and once we adopted them, we knew they weren't going to go away because people were going to be get used to using them, enjoy the benefits, and we would need to keep those things. So we have done some scholarly work around the scorecard. It has proved to be a useful tool. We have been able to show that services were improved based on its use, and those cross-department and across the organizational efforts that are needed. So another opportunity to interact. We know that many of our institutions purchased these products and added these services based on non-recurring funds, whether they be carryover funds, reserve funds, some of the government assistance that was provided. Those funds aren't going to be around forever. So we're curious how your institution may be planning on maintaining services now that that emergency phase of the pandemic is over. And then some resources, direct link to the scorecard, linked Quality Matters, and just a quick thank you from Dr. Brown and myself. There's our contact information there. Please reach out to us. We do offer some consulting services around that scorecard through OLC. Thank you.